Hello, everyone. This is the Crimson Cure, welcoming you to the Crimson Tower, a place where we keep a feminine foot on the neck of the gynocracy, feminism, and black male misandry. So go ahead, pull up a chair, stay a while, and listen.
We're A-Game, a 100% Black-owned company with an all-natural product and world-class customer service. We're headquartered in California, and we manufacture, package, and ship right here in the United States. We ship to more than 125 distributors worldwide. Normal processing is 2 to 3 days, and we employ virtual tracking until our product is received. So, no matter where you are in the world, here we come, and we're bringing your A-game.
Hey there, my Crimsonites. How are we doing today? How is everyone? Let's see who we got. We got Malika, Sandra, C, blessing for you, and Sheep. Hey, how is everyone? Hey, Venom. We're going to have a few words about Caitlyn Jenner today. Just a few ideas, just a few thoughts. Just a few. How's everybody Monday been doing? Y'all Monday's all right? Weekend was okay. Finally drudged up and did my hair. I didn't want to do it, but somebody had to do it, and it wasn't going to be nobody but me. I'm so tired of doing my own hair. I've been doing my own hair since I was like 11 years old. Hey, artisan. I'm so tired of doing my own hair now. I have never had like a beautician on any sort of regular basis. I've been to the beauty salon maybe a handful of times in my whole life to get some styles I didn't know how to do. And everything else I taught myself how to do. I taught myself how to perm. I taught myself how to wrap. I taught myself how to freeze curl. I taught myself how to braid. I taught myself how to twist. I taught my all the popular styles. I taught myself how to do it and did it on my own. I'm so tired of doing my hair. I wish I had somebody to just come to the house and do my hair. That's all I want. Because see, now I got money to go to the beauty salon, but I'm Muslim. I'm not sitting in there without no hijab on and all kind of men is in and out. Like, it defeat the purpose. I usually, when I don't feel like doing my hair, I do spring twists. See? So I got some long spring twists. It's a simple style. I can get through it fairly quickly. You know, I just ain't got the patience to invest the type of time that I used to invest in doing my hair anymore. I don't have that type of patience. Because I used to have patience to do micros on my own head. Either micro twists or micro braids. Back before the hair quality was good. When you was buying them 65-cent Kankalon hair. I was thinking about getting me some locks. Just lock my hair up again. And I probably will sit there and do that myself. Just lock my hair up. I don't want to cut it off no more. I've done several big chops in my lifetime. I don't want to do a big chop no more. It ain't no reason to do it now. Because my hair is pretty healthy. Although it don't grow past my collarbone. It will not come past this part here, this right here. It won't do it. And I suspect it's because I don't have nobody doing my hair. Because I'm very minimal with it. I wash it. I condition it. I comb it. I'm not doing all of them hair routines and a mask on it and a deep oil conditioner. And I'm pretty sure that stuff works. I'm pretty sure that's why it grows so slowly, because I don't do them things. But I just don't got the patience no more. I just don't got the patience. Yeah, I had locks before when I was younger. I had locks before. All I had to do was tend to them and moisturize them, make sure my scalp was clean. That was the work for the locks. But anyway, I want to talk about Caitlyn Jenner. And I know y'all probably wondering what you going to talk about Caitlyn Jenner. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on. Y'all going to put y'all tinfoil hat on? Real quick. Because I got a conspiracy theory moment. I don't have many. But y'all going to help me. Y'all going to put y'all tinfoil hat on. I can't be by myself with this tinfoil hat. If you have to. Okay, I got my tinfoil hat on now. Just a little bit. I do not and have never believed that Bruce Jenner has ever wanted to be a woman. I do not and have never believed that Bruce Jenner has ever wanted to be a woman, including now. Now you might say, well, Crimson Kid, that don't make no sense. Why would he go through all of that to become a woman if he didn't want to be one? This is where the tinfoil hat come in. Because I think it was some sort of punishment given to him for some reason, because that is Bruce all day. That was Bruce. That's Bruce. When I hear Caitlyn talk, when you see her move, when you see her walk, that's Bruce. It's Bruce. There's nothing feminine about it. And I used to kind of dot in and out watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians long time ago when he was on there. And Bruce Jenner, Bruce Jenner was born in 1949. That same year my daddy was born. Bruce Jenner's in his 70s. You don't wait until you 70, 71, 72 to be no woman. You just don't do that. You just don't. There's no reason for that at all. Somebody somewhere in some darkened room wrote it down in a special ink that Bruce Jenner got to be Caitlyn Jenner if we don't want a worldwide catastrophe to happen in Australia. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. So it was either that or become Caitlyn. And he was like, man, you know what? I done had a lot of women in my life, a lot of kids, a lot of fun. I'm gonna go ahead and be Caitlyn just to save these people. You see what I'm saying? Because they was trying too hard to convince the public that he always wanted to be a woman. And I just don't believe that. I watched Bruce on that Keeping It Up with the Kardashian show. He was old school. Okay? He was masculine. He was trying to run them two girls, his girls, Kendall and Kylie. He was trying to raise them. All right. Kendall, I think, took after him. This is a conversation me and my sister was having. I think Kendall took after, because you don't hear Kendall in that foolishness. Now, Kylie done followed her sisters. But Bruce was very masculine. I kind of don't know why he got caught up with Chris and her clan. But Bruce was not just no wimpy type of dude. And I never picked up no alphabet community qualities from him either. I never picked up them vibes from him. He just was a straight man his whole life. You don't get married them many times and have them many kids and you ain't want to do that. It ain't that much social pressure in the world. His celebrity had been long over with, in the 70s or whatever, when he was in the Olympics and won medals. And this is a dude that was on the Wheaties box. Back in the day, 70s and 80s, it was something for you to be an athlete and get on the Wheaties box. That was an accomplishment. Okay, that was the cherry on top of the cake. You get you on the Wheaties box. You understand? This dude was on the Wheaties box. That's a big deal. Okay? And it was because he was never with the shenanigans that they didn't like him. They didn't really want him on the show and all of that type of stuff. Okay? Because he would get them, like the two that's his. I remember one episode that I actually watched, because he told them they was up there buying stuff and being super, you know what I'm saying, superficial and this, that, and the third, and looking down on people because they was rich. He was like, first of all, you're not rich. We rich. And I'm going to start taking you down to LA. And I'm going to take you to these shelters. And I'm going to take you to where these homeless people at. I'm going to take you to where these people that's in poverty is at. And I'm going to make you work for them. I'm going to make you serve them and stuff like that. And he did. They didn't really like it. Kendall kind of took to it. Kylie was mad. But he was like, I don't care. You're going to see how other people live, because you're very privileged. And that's all you've ever known. But don't think that you can't be here at some point in your life with these people. They are still people, regardless if they don't have any money. So he was trying to really give them some values. He was trying to get them some values. Now, I don't know why he's Caitlyn Jenner, but that's Bruce. Every time you hear him talk, it's Bruce. Now, this last thing, the first thing that's going on is that Caitlyn is running for governor of California. But running as a Republican, and that done made the alphabet community mad. Because if you are part of the alphabet community, you are not supposed to identify with the Republican Party. The Republican Party is notoriously against policies that openly and readily advocate for alphabet community rights and stuff like that. They votes against it and all of that type of stuff. Hey, Dr. Michelle. All right. But now he done made him mad again. He done ran. He trying to run as a Republican. But he has also made him mad for this. I'm going to read you an article, and then I'm going to explore some questions that's not being asked. It just isn't fair. Caitlyn Jenner opposes transgender girls participating in women's sports. Former Olympic gold medalist Caitlyn is not a gold medalist, Bruce is, has come out against allowing transgender girls to participate in women's sports. Jenner, who has filed paperwork to run for governor in California as a Republican, said it was a question of fairness in an interview with TMZ on Saturday. That's why I oppose biological boys who are trans competing in girls' sports in school. It just isn't fair, and we have to protect girls' sports in our schools. Jenner took to Twitter later on Saturday to reiterate the stance, saying she was clear about where I stand. Jenner's beliefs reflect recent legislation across states like Florida and Mississippi, which have banned transgender athletes from competing on girls' or women's sports teams. According to the Human Rights Campaign, 17 states have proposed such legislation. This goes against the beliefs of many in the Tea Party community, including activists and advocates, who say preventing Tea Party girls from participating in women's sports is discriminatory. In a recent interview with Oprah Winfrey, actor Elliot Page, which was that girl, Ellen, Y'all have seen this one in a lot of different little movies. Little thin, little bitty white woman that is now identifying as Elliot. Slammed the many proposed bills targeting Tea Party youth across the country as an attack on Tea Party healthcare. What you are hearing from certain lawmakers are actual complete and utter their lies in terms of what they're saying about the healthcare. And the reality of the healthcare is that it's supported by medical institution and saves lives. And if you're going to do this, and if you're also not going to allow trans kids to play sports, children would die, and it's really that simple, real dramatic. In Jenner's campaign announcement, she called herself a compassionate disruptor and railed against Governor Gavin Newsom, who is likely to face a recall. Newsom has been vocal in support of Tea Party rights, signing laws that include the establishment of Tea Party Wellness and Equity Fund, as well as a law allowing for inmates who are Tea Party to be housed in facilities based on their gender identity. Okay. Yeah, Juno. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all knew exactly who I was talking about. Okay. First, let's talk about what I just read in this article, and then we're going to go in a different direction with this. My sister and I were having a conversation about this, and they're mad at Caitlyn and saying, oh, it's discriminatory. How can she have that stance when she herself is a trans and all of this type of stuff? But what you can't forget is was an Olympic level athlete. Whose opinion that is in that article is the athlete Bruce Jenner's opinion. That's whose opinion that is. Actually understanding what it takes for a male to train at one of the highest levels of athletic competition in the world. To do the strength training, the type of rigorous exercise day in, 2-a-days, all this kind of stuff, running yourself ragged to compete at a high level. He understands what it is to be an athlete. He knew that when he was training to be an athlete in the Olympics, wasn't no woman messing with him. Wasn't no biological female was touching him. Just based off the biology alone. This is why they separate sports based on gender. Because males have a superior strength and endurance than women, and everybody knows it. This is why we don't ever have mixed sports. Even in non-contact sports, you don't have them mixed. You wouldn't mix male and female tennis players because the men are stronger. They gonna pop that ball. She not gonna be able to compete with it. Not on a professional level. You can't get a male and female track star, track and field athlete. She's not competing with him. If they go pole vaulting, he gonna beat her. If they do the long jump, he gonna beat her. Maybe in the foot race, she might have a chance. Thank you, Zahira. Assalamu alaikum. Islam's beloved. We are in the last 10 days. Yes, we are. One of these days is going to be Laylatul Qadr. I don't know if it might have been last night. But Caitlyn is speaking as a former athlete. I don't care how many hormone suppressing drugs that you take. I don't care what you do cosmetically. A biological male, even if undergone full gender reassignment surgery, always produces more testosterone than a natural born female, and will thus always be stronger, no matter what he does. If you talk about athletics, let's take college level athletics because they are adults. You're not going to be able to introduce a Tea Party girl into women's basketball and not expect that Tea Party girl to not dominate. Because guess who's stronger on the court? Especially if they know how to ball. Guess who can actually dunk this ball? While y'all running around with these little short little jumpers and these little bootleg layups, guess who gonna be able to dunk this ball? Guess who you're not gonna be able to really defend? You can't introduce them into the track and field area. Guess who's gonna outrun you? Guess who's going to outdo you in these various... You get the picture. The famous one that always comes to mind and that I always draw back to is Fallon Fox. A Tea Party female in the UFC. Couldn't compete with the men. Not quite strong enough because Fallon, I believe, actually went through with the reassignment surgery and had full suppression of the testosterone and all that. So not quite strong enough to compete with the men, but way too strong to compete with the females. I remember an interview with Misha Tate, who had fought Fallon and lost. And they was interviewing Fallon about it. I mean, they were interviewing Misha about that to get her thoughts on, what was it like to fight Fallon as a Tea Party. And she was like, it's like fighting a man. The punch strength, the grappling, she was like, I couldn't really do nothing with it. She was like, I knew it was a big difference when we were in the ring, we're fighting, and then I got punched. She's like, now, I've been fighting for years. I've been punched before, but by a woman. She's like, that was a different punch. It was different. And I would not like to do that again. Now that we got that part out of the way, what's the real conversation? The real conversation is Caitlyn is doing things that Bruce could never do. And Caitlyn is saying things that Bruce is not allowed to say. How you know we live in a gynocratic society is that women have more rights than men. So I'm not really all that surprised to start seeing more effeminate men and men who will come out and identify as women, because that's where the power is currently. There is no power in this country in being a man. You are not allowed to be a man. You are not allowed your masculinity. If Caitlyn were Bruce, trying to run as a Republican governor of California, and then said Tea Party don't got no right being in girl sports, this little pushback he getting would have been so much worse. It would have been equivalent to the townspeople gathering pitchforks and torches to come tear his whole life down. But Caitlyn can say that and get a little pushback, but not be seen as a bigot. Can't really call Caitlyn a bigot because Caitlyn, for all intents and purposes, identifies as a Tea Party. Is one. So you can't say he's just completely against it, because she's not. Bruce is now living his life as Caitlyn, as a woman. So you can't attack that. Thank you, Torian. Said Bruce Lynn Jenner got away with a hit and run. Bruce Jenner got a pedestrian the same year he came out as hit a pedestrian. Yeah, now he can't get charged with accidental homicide. Exactly. And that's yet again the privilege of being female in this country. So when they say the future is female, they mean to make that true. They mean to make it true by policy. See, this goes back to bioculturon. Another switch is coming. By pushing the change of biology from male to female, number one. And the acceptance of this biological switch. So not only changing the actual biologies of the people who undergo such surgeries and procedures, but the rest of us who don't go through that, to change the biology of our thinking, how we think about that. Social policy is being written into law. So social policy is the culture part. Being written into law is the environmental part. They're going to make it the law of the land. That is a bioculturon switch. It's actually happening in front of you. So I need people to understand what bioculturon is. Because if we take a look at the Tea Party agenda that's happening in this country, that is happening. All three at the same time. Remember, the biology, the culture, the environment, they're doing all three. When they do all three, they mean business. Oh, you gonna accept it. Because they're gonna flip all three switches at once. Thank you, Jeremy. Peace be unto you as well, sweetheart. Pushing the boys to actually become female. That's a biological switch. Pre-puberty. So they are coming for prepubescent boys and trying to convince them that they want to be girls. This is why you having so many more gender reveal parties for babies that don't reveal a gender. We're raising our children gender neutral. There's not even no such thing as that. So when they say the future is female, I need y'all to understand they are not only talking about some ideological pie in the sky. They're not just talking about what they show you in a movie. They're not just talking about what they show you in a TV show. That's cultural. That's the cultural part, to make it socially acceptable by introducing it into your entertainment value, introducing it into your leisure value when your guard is down. I need y'all to understand what I'm talking about. They introduce it during your leisure value when your guard is down. When you're trying to just take in a movie, when you're trying to just take in a show and all of that type of stuff, you don't have all of these mental walls up to guard against everything. This is your leisure time. You know, I want to catch a movie. So those subconscious cues are going to get in there. They're going to. You're not going to be able to help it if you watch it, right? Thank you, Artisan. Thank you, Miss Chani. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Excuse me there. So, that's the cultural part. Putting it in your entertainment value, putting it in your leisure value, which affects your biology by having you think about it a certain way. But the social programming doesn't necessarily come through the entertainment value. That comes through the educational system. Because they have to get you formulated on these thoughts before you can formulate a thought about it on your own. So they don't tell you how to think. They tell you what to think. That is a biology switch. I told you, don't think of bioculturon as a line or linear. Don't think of it. It's a circle. Each one affects the other one. All right. So once we have the biology changing and the cultural acceptance, the last thing to do is to change the environment by making it not only social policy, but legal policy. Make it the law of the land that this must be accepted and that this is correct. That is the process of implementing a new set of thinking and behavior in a whole group of people. You have to switch all three of those switches at once. It's actually happening in front of us. Because if you just do one, like if you just introduce it into entertainment, but you don't change the law of the land and you don't try to change people's actual thinking or brainwash them about it, people are going to formulate their own ideas. Some people are going to accept it, other people will not. The majority of the human race is not going to accept it because the biological hardwire says this does not promote the species, so we don't accept that practice. There's a reason why heterosexuality was the dominant sexuality, because that actually progresses the species, and other forms it does not. So it's not viable. Okay? It's not viable. This is why the human race has never been predominantly anything other than heterosexual, because we got to procreate. That's true of every mammal in the world. Every animal that engages in sexual reproduction has to do so with the opposite gender. There are only a very few rare reptiles that can actually do something like parthenogenesis. True parthenogenesis, not cloning. Not asexual cloning, but parthenogenesis, meaning that the female can actually give birth to a male. Cloning is when you can only pass the double X chromosome. Parthenogenesis is when you can pass an XY. I forgot the name of the lizards, very specific, can actually perform parthenogenesis as a multi-celled organism. Because when we get down to single cell organisms, they don't engage in sexual reproduction. Their reproduction is asexual. So you'll get cloning, just splitting off, that sort of thing. Thank you, Jeremy. Yes, please hit the like button. I got 89 people. I got 57 likes. Please hit the like. Yeah, Torian, it's going very fast. Okay? It's going very fast. So we should be able to see this bioculturon working in real time. It's not just a theory that doesn't have any legs. We're actually watching it go down. Father's Time says cyclic parthenogenesis is well displayed in aphids. Okay. Got you. I didn't know that about the aphids. I had only ever read about parthenogenesis. I have to actually look up that lizard. And there's a very particular reptile, very small, that I read about a long time ago. And I was like, let me revisit that. Was that a fluke? And it wasn't. Whiptail lizards. Thank you, We Are the M. It was whiptail lizards that I first heard about it and read about it. because I forgot what caused me to look it up, but it was the whiptail lizard that I found. And that was really, really intriguing to me. I'm like, oh, there's an actual animal that has been known to be able to do that. That was interesting to me. So I'm not going to keep you too much longer. But those are my thoughts. The future is female because they're going to try to make it that way. Through bioculturon. That's how they're going to try to ensure that the future is female. That's how. The erasure of men and masculinity is real. This is why I speak so vehemently against the entire concept and all of its offshoots of feminism and gynocratic thinking. All of its offshoots gotta go as well. You gotta tear the tree down, cut the tree, but you also have to dig up the roots, because many times the roots is bigger than the tree. Y'all ever seen a tree and the roots be way a half a mile down? It'd be the root of that same tree. So you can't just chop the tree or chop a few branches. You got to dig under there and kill them roots. The only way the tree dies. This is why I talk to my sisters the way that I do. We cannot participate in the erasure of men, specifically our men. Because black men are already a marginalized group, and you can try to not think of them that way, but they are. When I talked about in my earlier video, the most vulnerable part of our group is not the Tea Party, it's the heteronormative black male. Specifically, the heteronormative black boy. That is the most vulnerable part of the black community. That's the most vulnerable group. The heteronormative little black boy. Because he doesn't get any protection and he doesn't get any support at all. It's not the Tea Parties. Because before you said, well, black men, you know what I'm saying? How they the most marginalized group? They were boys before they were men. And the collective of black women don't do anything for the boys to protect them or to ensure that they reach the full potential of their masculinity. Black women don't do anything in that regard to assist their boys. They act like they didn't birth them out or something. Literally trying to live like the Amazons of Themyscira. And even the Amazons, when a male adversary came to that island, they got their butts whooped. They got mopped up. All right. Steppenwolf came through there and mopped them up. Quick. Mopped up Wonder Woman too. She couldn't hang. It took Superman to deal with Steppenwolf. You can take that how you wanna, but I think it was a message in it. A heteronormative male so y'all running around here trying to be fake Amazons, knock it off. Knock it off. We cannot participate in the destruction and further marginalization of black men and boys. It is the doom of us. For those sisters who are listening that don't like black men, whatever, see if Mr. Charlie like you the way you like him. Told you before, that little toy about to get broken. You're the toy in the hands of a malicious child that's about to break you. We cannot participate in the effeminization of our boys. Raising up our little boys to be little girls. Talking about it's all right to get his hair braided and his nails done and play with little Barbie. It's not all right. It's not all right to not foster his masculinity as he grows. That's not okay. Propping up Dwayne Wade's son. Exactly. Zaya. And then you have the former first lady coming out congratulating the strength of a minor to live out his truth. The same minor that can't consent to a romantic relationship, can't drink, not legal to work, not legal to drive, and can't go see a rated R movie by himself. Participating in the wholesale destruction by getting rid of men via getting rid of their masculinity by effeminizing them is a destruction. They don't like you. So buying into their agendas, hook, line, and sinker, that don't save you, black woman. It does not. You go when the wagon come. And I about see the wagon pulling up. You get your act together. In any case, I'm about to wrap this up, but one thing This show has been brought to you by A Game, which is a natural male herbal solution. All right, 21 awesome herbs, no artificial ingredients, things that make you crash, things that make you not feel very well after taking it. This is a natural solution for men that addresses blood flow, all right, which helps a man's strength, his vitality, his mental focus, his libido. Okay? So in order to get your box of A Game, what you need to do is go into the description box and click the link for A Game at agameherbal.com. And you can get a 10% discount using the code Kendra10. That's Kendra, the number 10. And for the ladies, for the men in your life, if we're not going to participate with the wholesale destruction of our men, it's time to start helping them. And this is step 1. Help him address his health. And he won't stop thanking you. All right? And with that being said, thank you, Xavier. With that being said, I am going to wrap this up. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys.